14.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Edo State Governor, Iwobi. Welcome to the Celebration Television News Desk. I am James Comfort and thank you so very much for joining us. Quickly, let's take a look at the news making the headlines for today. From the local scene, women around the world gathers in Edo State, Nigeria for International Women Conference. Obaseki is my brother, we are not fighting, says Oshomole. From the foreign scene, Brexit, Hammond says Prime Minister's demands wreck chance of New Deal. On business, Central Bank of Nigeria to action 34 billion naira T-bills today. And on sports, talented Iwobi will develop quicker at Everton, says Yobo. Stay with us as we bring you the details of the news just right after this time out. Welcome back. And now the news in details. From the local scene, women around the world gathers in Edo State, Nigeria for International Women Conference. The much anticipated International Women Conference of Omega Fire Ministry commences today, Wednesday, 14th August. This conference is meant to receive women from within and outside the country, women coming from the United Kingdom, United States, Spain, Germany, Italy, and many more other countries. Though last year's edition recorded a massive turnout, but this year's turn-up looks ready to supersede that, as we have women already in their numbers arriving the International Worship Center of Omega Fire Ministry as the program is yet to commence. This is an annual conference that has not failed to see women come and leave empowered, imparted, uplifted, and transformed. This year's edition is not left out, as some of the women express their joy and excitement as they are expectant for a touch in their lives and families. They believe this is an opportunity to gather under one roof, interceding for their respective homes and countries. Here, take a look.
I'm from the New Jersey, Milwaukee branch. The Women Convention in Auchi. I came today with my sister. So there's a rally, and we are out here doing the rally to get people to come to the program that is going to last for this week. And we are happy because we are among all the other women that are having a lot of fun. I'm Rebecca Jaka from the Milwaukee branch in New Jersey, America. Thank you.
What do you have to say, ma'am?
Hi, my name is Sylvia. I'm from Everton, New Jersey, home of Divine Speed, from the Bluefin branch. I'm here today. Oh my God, it's so glorious. I'm so happy to be here. You know, I want to say thank you to Papa Suleiman, Mama Lizzie Suleiman, and I want to say thank you to my pastor back home, Pastor Jerry BK, and Mama Sia. It is glorious. Please, ladies, all over the world, come next year and join this. We're having fun, fun, and fun.
Thank you.
Now, despite the several publicities for the conference over the previous weeks, yesterday saw women in their numbers march and drive around the metropolitan area of Auchi, Edo State in a bid to create more awareness of this conference to even locals. This conference is hosted by the dynamic mother, Dr. Lizzie Suleiman, and will have to minister to the women also is the Restoration Apostle Johnson Suleiman. It will last for 3 days and having 5 sessions. Still from the local scene, 109 babies born, 56 boys, 53 girls. RCCG's 67th Annual Convention. It is no longer news that the Redeemed Christian Church of God has just concluded her annual convention, which is, as a matter of fact, the 67th. It was a week-long program which began on the 5th of August, ending on the 11th of August, 2019. This year's annual convention, as revealed to the host and general overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, was with the theme, "And God Said." The 67th Annual Convention had different ministers of God ministering in different sessions, which included a mother in Israel, Pastor Mrs. Foluke Adeboye, wife to the General Overseer and First Lady of the Redeemed Christian Church of God. There were groundbreaking miracles and diverse encounters as the program proceeded, but alongside these encounters is one that has created a trend on the World Wide Web, drawing a lot of engagements, most of which are Thanksgivings. This is a news reporting an exact number of 109 births, precisely 56 boys and 53 girls. This good news was announced through the officially verified handles of the General Overseer, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, both on Facebook and Twitter. Let's have a look.
Between last night and this morning, God has added to us children. So now the total number of children born during this convention as at 8 a.m. is 109. 56 boys, 53 girls. So let the boy shout, praise the Lord. Let the girl shout, hallelujah.
That was quite an interesting one over there. Now, though this year's convention may have ended, but attendees are still yet to recover and may never, as they were fueled, empowered, and overflowing. On more news from the local scene, Obaseki is my brother. We are not fighting, says Oshomole. The national chairman of All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, has blamed the media for creating friction between him and Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State. Arising from a meeting with Obaseki at Oshomole's Iyamo residence in the Asaka West local government area of the state, which lasted late into Monday night, Oshomole said the rift between him and the governor was the creation of people with personal interest, while he described Obaseki as his brother. Speaking to journalists after the closed-door meeting, which lasted for about an hour, Oshomole said the meeting was not unusual as he was in constant touch with Obaseki. The APC chairman said it is not an unusual visit. The meeting afforded him the opportunity to meet with his brother and with people that he has worked with. Obaseki also noted that the visit was to celebrate the Islamic holiday with his former boss. There is nothing unusual about the meeting. They decided to come here to celebrate Salah with his predecessor, the governor said. He added that people who thought there was a rift between him and his predecessor should stop thinking. Meanwhile, the APC in the Onwa West local government area of Edo State on Monday insisted that Mike Ezomo had not abandoned his fight to ensure that Obaseki obeyed the National Assembly's instruction to issue a fresh proclamation for the inauguration of the House of Assembly. Ezomo, who is not part of the inauguration, will represent Onwa West in the Assembly. At an emergency meeting of the party in Sabongida Ora on Monday, the APC leaders and ward chairman in Onwa West local government area passed a vote of confidence in Ezomo. Speaking on behalf of the leaders, Ekpenga Louis told Obaseki to obey the National Assembly's directives to issue a fresh proclamation for the inauguration of the Assembly. And lastly, from the local scene, Sanwo-Olu picks Igbokwe ex-commissioners, others as cabinet nominees. The spokesperson for the All Progressive Congress in Lagos State, Joel Igbokwe, has made the list of the new commissioner and special advisor designates of the Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu administration. Igbokwe created controversy on Tuesday after saying on a television station that anyone who criticized the President Muhammadu Buhari administration for non-performance was a liar from hell. Also on the list were former governorship aspirant Tokunbo Wahab and former commissioners for Women Affairs and Transportation, Mrs. Lola Akande and Prince Anofi Elegushi, respectively. A statement on Tuesday by the Deputy Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Mr. Gboyega Akosile, stated that Sanwo-Olu had already transmitted a list to the State House of Assembly. This came 4 weeks after the governor sent 25 names to the lawmakers for screening. The second list consisted of 30 names, making a total of 38 nominees. The statement said the second list had names of accomplished politicians and technocrats who understand the current need of Lagos and the development agenda of the governor. Now, coming up next is news from the foreign scene. Do well to stay with us.
The city of Manchester is about to be renewed.
Any member of your family who is fighting your lifting, by the power of the Holy Spirit, I clear them out of the way.
And God sent forth his spirit for divine recreation through his servant Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Open Heavens 2019, 26th and 27th August. Anticipate.
Welcome back. Foreign news. Trump official revises Statue of Liberty prem to defend migrant rule change. A top U.S. immigration official has revised a quote inscribed on the Statue of Liberty in defense of a new policy that denies food aid to legal migrants. The head of Citizenship and Immigration Services tweets the passage, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." The official added the words, "who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge." It comes as Trump officials debuted a regulation that denies aid to migrants. Ken Cuccinelli, the Trump administration's acting head of Citizenship and Immigration Services, announced on Monday a new public charge requirement that limits legal migrants from seeking certain public benefits such as public housing or food aid, or are considered likely to do so in the future. The new regulation, known as a public charge rule, was published in the Federal Register on Monday and will take effect on 15th October. The rule changes intended to reinforce ideals of self-sufficiency, officials said. Critics argue that it will prevent low-income U.S. residents from seeking help. On Tuesday, Mr. Cuccinelli was asked by NPR whether the 1883 poem titled "The New Colossus at the Statue of Liberty" on New York's Ellis Island still applied. "They certainly are," Mr. Cuccinelli responded. "Give me your tired and your poor, who can stand on their own 2 feet and who will not become a public charge." That plaque was put on the Statue of Liberty at almost the same time as the first public charge was passed. "Very interesting timing," he added. In the interview, he added that immigrants are welcome who can stand on their own 2 feet, be self-sufficient, pull themselves up by their bootstraps again, as in the American tradition. And still from the foreign scene, Brexit. Hammond says Prime Minister's demands wreck chance of New Deal. Former Chancellor Philip Hammond has accused the Prime Minister of trying to wreck the chance of a new Brexit deal by making demands the EU could never accept. Mr. Hammond said a no-deal Brexit would be a betrayal of the 2016 referendum result. He said Parliament would make its voice heard, adding that a no-deal must not happen. The source said the UK would leave on 31st October despite Mr. Hammond's best efforts to the contrary. The source added that Mr. Hammond, as Chancellor, did everything he could to block preparations for leaving and had undermined negotiations. The former Chancellor rejected this suggestion in a tweet, saying he wanted to deliver Brexit and voted to do so 3 times. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has called for the EU to remove the Irish border backstop plan before the Brexit deadline of 31st October. Many of those who voted against Theresa May's Brexit deal had concerns over the backstop designed to guarantee there will not be a hard Irish border after Brexit, which, if implemented, would see Northern Ireland staying aligned to some rules of the EU single market. Mr. Hammond, in his first comment since stepping down last month, said the early signs that Mr. Johnson could take the UK out of the EU with a deal in place were not encouraging. He wrote, the pivot from demanding changes to the backstop to demanding its total removal is a pivot from a tough negotiating stance to a wrecking one. The unelected people who pull the strings of this government know that this is a demand the EU cannot and will not accede to. News from the world of business is up next. We'll be right back.
Shout Jesus!
An outpour of grace, clothed with power for the Great Commission.
Touch!
A season for harvest and restoration. Open Heavens Asaba 2019 with the Restoration Apostle Johnson Suleiman. 8th and 9th October 2019. The time is 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. For inquiries, please call +234 816 839 8331 or +234 701 003 6999. Open Heavens Asaba 2019. Grace shall locate you.
Welcome back. In now business news. Central Bank of Nigeria to auction 34 billion naira T-bills today. The Central Bank of Nigeria is on Wednesday due to auction 34 billion naira worth of treasury bills, 14 roll over existing federal government T-bill maturities. Analysts at Z-Crest Capital Limited said upon resumption from the silent break, despite a small volume of T-bills on offer, they expected stop rates to clear above their previous level due to the recent bearish trend in the market. The federal government of Nigeria bond market closed last week on a relatively calm note, having witnessed significant sell-offs earlier in the week, which lifted yields higher by 50 basis points week on week. Yields, however, dropped marginally by 3 basis points following renewed demand on the long end of the curve, with the most interest witnessed on the federal government of Nigeria 2034 bond. The T-bills market remained firmly bearish as offshore sell-offs persisted across most of the short and mid-tenured bills. Yields trended higher by 25 BPS, culminating in a 135 BPS week-on-week rise in the average Nigerian Treasury bills yield. Rates in the money market remained elevated at double-digit levels as system liquidity remained depressed due to the continued foreign exchange interventions by the Central Bank of Nigeria in the investors' and exporters' FX window. The open buyback and overnight rates consequently closed 6% higher week-on-week at 12.14% and 12.86% respectively. Analysts said they expected the rates to remain elevated this week due to expected funding pressures from a likely wholesale and retail FX interventions by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Still on business, Trump delays some tariffs on China's imports. The U.S. is delaying imposing tariffs on some imports from China until 15 December because of health, safety, national security, and other factors. The products include mobile phones, laptops, video game consoles, some toys, computers, monitors, and certain footwear and clothing. The surprise news from the United States Trade Representative Office sparked a rally in share prices. Other items facing a 10% tariff will go ahead as planned on 1st September. U.S. President Donald Trump, speaking to reporters, said that the delay was in part to avoiding hitting U.S. shoppers this Christmas. The USTR's announcement was released minutes after China's Ministry of Commerce said Vice Premier Liu He had conducted a phone call with U.S. trade officials. Mr. Trump said on 1st August he would impose a 10% tariff on $300 billion of Chinese goods, blaming China for not following through on promises to buy more American agricultural products. He also personally criticized Chinese President Xi Jinping for failing to do more to stem sales of the synthetic opioid fentanyl amid an opioid overdose crisis in the U.S. But in a tweet on Tuesday, Mr. Trump hinted that he was expecting something in return, suggesting that China's failure to buy big from U.S. farmers could be about to change. The USTR's announcement comes amid growing concerns about a global economic slowdown. Goldman Sachs said on Sunday that fears of the U.S.-China trade war leading to a recession were increasing. Some analysts said Tuesday's delay does not mean the trade war is over. Elena Dogger, Associate Managing Director at credit rating agency Moody's, said this seeming de-escalation in ongoing tensions may be a temporary reprieve. Relations between the world's two largest economies will remain contentious, punctuated with occasional steps towards compromise. And up next is news from the world of sports. We'll be right back.
At least spiritual action that will provoke heaven's divine reactions about to happen in the city of Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Open Heavens 2019, Apostle Johnson Suleiman, October, expected.
Welcome back. And now news from the world of sports. Talented Iwobi will develop quicker at Everton, says Iwobi. The former Nigerian defender believes the toughest new signing will fit in perfectly in Marco Silva's squad and will experience a rapid development. Alex Iwobi will improve at a more rapid rate at Everton than he would have had he stayed at Arsenal, according to former Toffees centre-back Joseph Yobo. The 23-year-old joined Marco Silva's men in a deal worth €40 million on transfer deadline day, having made 148 appearances for his boyhood club since making his Ghana's debut in 2015. Yobo believes that the transfer was the right move for his compatriot and is confident that the Super Eagles international will be an asset for his new club. Yobo has warned that he will have to adapt to life at Everton, but that the attacker is up to the challenge. Nigeria do not play like Arsenal, yet he plays very well, and that's why I say the Super Eagles will benefit from this move because we will see a better Iwobi, he continued. Nigeria will defeat and also benefit more because he would see a more tactically disciplined and physically fit Iwobi because his talent has always been there. That will make him a more complete player. See from the world of sports, Ronaldo, the difference between me and Messi, I have won the Champions League with more than one club. The Argentine star has spent his entire adult career with Barcelona, while the Juve man has taken in spells with several of Europe's top clubs. Cristiano Ronaldo has given his personal take on the internal rivalry between himself and Lionel Messi, stating that the difference between the record-breaking pair is that the Portuguese has won the Champions League with more than one club. The debate over who is better, either currently or indeed of all time, reached boiling point during the duel's shared time in Spain, with Real Madrid and Barcelona fans at odds over which of the world-class stars should be named the best. A total of 5 Ballon d'Or each does little to help separate the attackers, but with Messi having spent his entire senior career at Barcelona, Ronaldo hinted that he perhaps puts himself ahead of the Argentine due to his ability to adapt to new surroundings. In the case of Messi, he is an excellent player, Ronaldo said. Regardless, Ronaldo continues to have a great respect for Messi, making it clear that sustained success over a 10-year period for both players should be appreciated for the huge amount of hard work that it takes to stay at the top. Obviously, I have not seen such a rivalry between two players at the top of the mountain for so many years, the Portugal captain added. There are great players that I respect who have 3, 4 or at most 5 years at their peak. 10 years, I've never seen that. And finally, from the world of sports, Club Lampard welcome very smart choice of female referee for UEFA Super Cup. Stephanie Frappart will be the first woman to officiate a major UEFA men's game when she takes charge on Wednesday. Jurgen Klopp and Frank Lampard have welcomed the decision to appoint a female referee for Wednesday's UEFA Super Cup clash between Liverpool and Chelsea. Stephanie Frappart will become the first female to officiate a major UEFA men's match when Lampard's Chelsea face the European champions in Istanbul. Klopp believes it is high time a woman refereed such a high-profile fixture, given female officials have already made positive strides in German men's football. My answer would be, finally, I think it is time, he said when asked about Frappart's appointments. Lampard thinks the huge attention garnered by the Women's World Cup in France this year, where Frappart refereed the final, proves more women should be involved in the sport's biggest matches. I am very pleased to be a part of this moment in history that is very much due, he said. The game has come a long way in many ways in terms of the Women's World Cup, which we will and we all watch in terms of how much respect the game is getting, how many people are watching it. And that's the size of the news for today from Celebration Television News Desk. Just in case you missed out, here is a recap of the headlines. On the local scene, women around the world gathers in Edo State, Nigeria for International Women Conference. Obaseki is my brother, we are not fighting, says Oshomole. From the foreign scene, Brexit, Hammond says Prime Minister's demand wreck chance of New Deal. On business, Central Bank of Nigeria to auction 34 billion naira T-bills today. And on sports, talented Iwobi will develop quicker at Everton, says Yobo. Do not forget to follow us on our social media handles to be kept abreast of news updates and other things as they unfold. On Facebook, it is Celebration TV. On Instagram, My Celebration TV. On Twitter, at My Celebration TV. And on YouTube, Celebration TV. I am James Comfort, and thank you so much for joining us.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offence.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Edo State Governor Ibikule Amoso